August 6, 2025. A Ukrainian fiber optic FPV drone struck a Russian soldier who was casually walking past it, unaware of the danger. The operation was carried out by the Kolibri unit of the 152nd Jaeger Brigade on the Pokrovsk front. A Russian soldier remained motionless, believing he wouldn't be detected by the Ukrainian drone. However, he had already been spotted by the drone operator. The Russian soldier chose to remain still, hoping to avoid detection. But once the drone rapidly closed in, he failed to escape in time. Here, once again, a Russian soldier tries to hide by staying still, but becomes a target for the drone. As a soldier was advancing in his vehicle, a 240mm 2S4 Tulpen mortar round landed dangerously close. The near impact highlights just how intense and unpredictable frontline conditions remain. A Russian drone operator was spotted in the dark, setting up a drone deep inside the forest. As he noticed an incoming Ukrainian drone, he attempted to flee and managed to survive the first strike. However, a second drone targeted and hit the shelter he had taken cover in. 5 Russian soldiers were spotted entering an abandoned house and were immediately targeted by Ukrainian forces. A kamikaze drone from the 425th Mountain Brigade was deployed, and the house sheltering the soldiers was blown up. A Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet, using an American GBU-62 guided bomb, destroyed a Russian base in southern Ukraine with a precise and powerful strike. A Russian soldier was seen striking a Ukrainian FPV drone with a stick, an encounter observed by the incognito group of Ukraine's 54th Mechanized Brigade in the Siversk direction. A Russian soldier tried to shield himself behind a tree to evade the pursuing drone, but despite all efforts, he couldn't avoid becoming its target. Russian soldiers who are alone and unprotected often fail to escape these attacks. 2 Russian armored vehicles arriving to evacuate troops were spotted. Ukraine's Ivan Franko drone strike group responded immediately, launching a swift and targeted operation. The bomb-laden FPV drone quickly advanced toward the Russian vehicles. Meanwhile, the soldiers, unaware of the incoming threat, continued walking toward the vehicle. The FPV drone successfully struck the lead vehicle, rendering it completely inoperable. As the vehicle exploded, Russian soldiers scattered in different directions, attempting to escape the blast. In the city of Oleshki, Kherson region, a former sanitary station building used by Russian drone operators and a battalion-level command post was struck by 2 Ukrainian aerial bombs. Part of the structure was destroyed, with several personnel buried under the rubble. Ukrainian FPV drone pilots successfully disabled 2 Russian T-72B3 tanks near the village of Shchetinivka in the Belgorod region. The first tank was initially struck at night using thermal imaging FPV drones, catching the crew off guard under the cover of darkness. As day broke, several follow-up kamikaze drone strikes were launched to ensure the tank was completely neutralized. Later, a second T-72B3 tank arrived in an attempt to tow the damaged vehicle to safety. However, Ukrainian drone operators were closely monitoring the area and quickly launched another FPV strike, hitting the recovery tank as well. Both vehicles were left disabled, dealing a significant blow to local armored capabilities. A group of Russian soldiers was spotted while placing anti-tank mines along a movement route. Shortly after, they were targeted by a Ukrainian FPV drone. The UAS Phoenix regiment, part of Ukraine's border guard, carried out FPV drone strikes targeting tanks, motorcycles, light vehicles, and infantry. The next strike targeted Russian soldiers attempting to pass through Ukrainian positions on motorcycles. One by one, they became targets of the drone. Numerous Russian armored vehicles were also targeted by FPV drones. Over the course of a week-long drone operation, 15 military vehicles were destroyed using both FPV and kamikaze drones. This Russian tank, camouflaged among the trees, was completely destroyed after being hit by 5 successive drone strikes. The Ukrainian Dragon drone, equipped with a Thermite payload, set a Russian position ablaze in the Kostyantinivka, Pokrovsk direction. The operation was carried out by the 92nd Assault Brigade. The Thermite drone attack engulfed the Russian positions in flames, leaving them burning intensely. In the Verbov area of the Zaporizhzhia region, fortified positions were first identified through aerial reconnaissance and drone surveillance. After confirming the target, a Ukrainian MiG-29 conducted a precision strike with GBU bombs, delivering a powerful blow to the location. The crew of a Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet carried out airstrikes using GBU-62 bombs on assault groups positioned in the village of Kamyanske, Zaporizhzhia region. The precision strike caused massive destruction, with at least 20 soldiers losing their lives and several pieces of equipment reduced to rubble. Ukraine's 414th Strike UAV Brigade carried out drone strikes on Russian military vehicles, attempting to avoid detection by hiding under camouflage. One vehicle concealed among the trees was completely destroyed, but the attacks didn't stop there. Multiple ambushes were launched along known movement routes, targeting vehicles that had already lost mobility. These Russian vehicles, often transporting weapons, ammunition, and food to frontline positions, are consistently being eliminated by Ukrainian drones. Ukrainian Sky Monsters from the 13th NGU Brigade Katia came out on top in several drone dogfights against Russian strike drones in northern Kharkiv Oblast. Counter-battery fire by Ukraine's 44th Artillery Brigade resulted in the destruction of multiple D-20 and D-30 howitzers on the Zaporizhzhia front. Using reconnaissance drones to locate artillery positions, Ukrainian forces repeatedly and successfully struck them with long-range artillery. While the systems were being destroyed, a significant number of Russian personnel were also taken out in the process. At the same time, an ammunition depot housing Russian drones was also struck by artillery fire. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone operator spotted a Russian drone pilot's position in the city of Vovchansk, Kharkiv region. Although the footage ends shortly after the detection, it's clear that an FPV drone had already been dispatched to strike the location. An experienced Ukrainian drone operator skillfully infiltrated Russian positions and targeted an artillery system stationed there. 2 consecutive strikes were carried out, resulting in the complete destruction of the artillery unit. While moving through a combat zone, fighters from the 1st Assault Battalion, Black Swan, of Ukraine's 225th Regiment came under sudden threat from an incoming FPV drone. The drone was rapidly approaching their pickup truck, clearly aiming to strike it. Ukrainian soldiers tried multiple times to shoot down the drone, but were initially unsuccessful. They quickly jumped out of the vehicle and ran toward the forest for cover. At the last moment, one soldier managed to hit the drone with a small arm, bringing it down. The group then continued on their way. As of August 6, 2025, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia continues with high intensity and shifting front lines. Ukrainian forces maintain their advantage by effectively utilizing advanced drone technology, launching precise FPV and kamikaze drone strikes that disrupt Russian supply lines, armored units, and fortified positions. Despite Russia's ongoing attempts to reinforce and stabilize their control, persistent Ukrainian attacks have slowed their advances and inflicted significant material and personnel losses. On multiple fronts, Ukrainian troops are conducting targeted operations to reclaim strategic areas, while Russian forces face logistical challenges and morale issues. Air operations remain crucial, with Ukrainian fighter jets delivering precision bombings and air defense units successfully countering Russian UAV incursions. The battlefield remains dynamic, with neither side gaining decisive control. Yet Ukraine's growing mastery of unmanned systems and tactical strikes suggests a gradual shift in momentum.